Buenos tardes, macro perspective peeps. We normally drop these in the afternoon, so therefore it is actually afternoon. Good afternoon. Seamus and Marcos here with another exciting episode.
Yeah.
And today's topic, you already clicked on it. You know what it's about. So we're going to be talking about what to do when she's just not that into you. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Great movie, by the way.
What to do when your significant other, spouse, husband, wife, whatever, is maybe not into fitness and you are trying to restart the momentum or get into the swing of things, or maybe you are a person that identifies as a fitness enthusiast. So, yeah, we're going to put on our NBHWC hats today and we're going to talk about how you can't force other people to do things that they are not ready, willing, and able to do. So,
Yeah, good topic. I mean, I love this. I think it's great. We're kind of recording this on Valentine's Day. Some folks, Valentine's Day could be a lonely time. I hear that 2/13 is Singles Day, or what is it? Or 2/13 is like Singles Day the day before, and then all that. But I really think this is a great topic because when it comes to fitness and starting a health journey or any journey, change is sometimes rough, right? A lot of folks might have an immunity to change, right, Marcos? And when they struggle with this, they want to change, but others may be holding them back. And if that person might be your significant other, it doesn't mean that they necessarily want to harm you or put you under duress. They just might be looking at that as not a value of theirs. So if you are on a new health journey, starting fitness, I don't know. Marcus, what do you think? What are some thoughts on that? I mean, I've seen that a lot as a coach. I know you probably have too.
I've dealt with it in previous relationships too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that people won't be able to maybe get into fitness at some point, but again, like I said, like forcing it upon them, especially if it's something that you enjoy, like you might have different interests in fitness.
Yeah.
So that I think is something you guys can explore. And if you already are into fitness, maybe go explore some of those other avenues with that other person,
Yeah.
because they might not really love lifting weights. Let's just say that that's
Mhm.
like not their thing. They don't like a traditional kind of gym setting, but they might actually enjoy yoga, or maybe it's a boot camp class,
Yeah.
or maybe it is a rowing or running class, or there's just so many different spices and flavors of fitness these days, Seamus. And yeah, I think that like exploring the option of something different, that
Yeah.
again, you might, and don't go in there with like thinking that your version of fitness is what they need to be doing.
100%. Let me attest this too to something that might make sense for the men in this group. Since we're guys, we get it. We were at that higher level of competition, right? And sometimes we think the training needs to look like that, but we're like way past our competitive prime time, and we're more just like hobbyists now. And we what used to train what multiple hours per day, double days, right, Marcos? And we're chasing this thing in the pursuit of just greatness. And then once we retire from that, what happens? Oh, we still think our training has to look like that, right? And we might take
Mhm.
that same concept and put it upon our partner. Oh, because we're doing, I don't know, guys are probably more into the resistance training, getting jacked and yoked, and then they see their fitness and their partner doing it, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
they're not interested in the same things I'm doing. Like they should be doing my CrossFit class, or they should be doing this running club with me, or they should be doing it like this. Yeah, it's just no.
Mhm.
There's a different, strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different angles of being able to find health for yourself, and it's going to have to start somewhere that is first enjoyable for that person. So, if that
Yeah.
person is not currently someone that identifies as a gym goer or a CrossFitter or runner, or insert, you know, label here, right? Like you gotta understand that it's going to take them a little while to find that identity, their fitness
Yeah.
identity.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, I kind of like not having a label as it pertains to fitness, because I like everything related to it. I consider myself kind of a fitness agnostic,
Yeah,
right? Like,
I am too, man. I am
yeah,
too.
right. Like, and I will say this, like, I like the idea of like, dude, I mean, fitness could be these days, or working out with your partner could be like, again, like for, I mean, grappling, right? Like, for whatever reason, I think a lot of women have gravitated towards the grappling thing because it's like something hard and challenging, and it doesn't really feel like working out per se, quote unquote, like the traditional sense, but it is a hell of a thing. And I mean, I would give it a go, but then again, knowing my personality, like I'd probably get fixated on trying to get really good at that thing, much like a lot of
Well,
people would do, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, this is I think this is going to be really just us continuing to talk about the fact that you're going to have to be willing to explore that with them, and you
yeah,
might have to do things that you're uncomfortable with, and it'll go over really well, I think, because you might find something that you didn't realize you needed. Um,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
again, like,
100%. I'll use myself as an example. 2 examples. Desiree got me to do like a Pilates class, and then she got me to do a spin class. For me at the time, those weren't things I was chasing, right? I was trying to do a lot of strength and conditioning, and I was trying to do more combat sports stuff. And I'm like, this doesn't. This, I have to take. At the time, I argued it in my head. I was like, oh, this Tuesday class is a spin class. Now I can't do my conditioning on Tuesday. So I have to
mm,
just do this spin class. And here's the thing, that class floored me. And there's like people twice my age. I'm like, oh, shoot. Maybe this is the conditioning that I needed because it took me out of my element. I got uncomfortable. Then I started realizing where my weaknesses were. I was doing conditioning, right, from strength and conditioning coaches. And if anyone knows anything about strength and conditioning coaches, conditioning is like a 5 to 10 minute thing after like a like a strength workout. So it's nothing like that. So when I did this form of conditioning, I was really floored. And then the same thing for Pilates, Marcos. I don't know if you've done a Pilates class, but I was going
mhm.
through it and I was like, how weak am I? I'm doing strength, but I'm so weak. And it was mobility in there. It was like endurance, and you start realizing like,
Mhm.
oh, there's levels to this fitness thing, right? Your partner could be doing something different, and you actually might be like a white belt at that. Talking about that grappling analogy, but you might be a white belt at that, and you might just have been comfortable with something for a while, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a white belt runner. I'm a white belt rower, white belt biker. I'm a white belt at a lot of things. It doesn't mean that again, like seeking discomfort is not something that a lot of people will just normally gravitate towards. And so, again, wherever there's the least course of resistance and you're not feeling like there's a discomfort related to it, is where you're probably going to see the optimized way of getting your partner to start really caring about that thing if it matters to you.
Yeah,
Um, Again, I will say that the individual that I was with that, or individuals that I was with previously that weren't into it, I'm pretty sure they're still not into it. So again, I not saying that that person may not be your person, but if it really matters to you that that person is someone that does like doing things that are fitness related because it's like a mutual experience and that like kind of shared suffering and bonding about that,
yeah.
like, you probably, you might need to find someone else, as bad as that sounds to say, and that's not
Well,
me giving
let's
relationship advice, it's just what I've
yeah.
noticed. That's
Let's go deep.
anecdotal.
Let's anecdotal. Let's go deeper into this though. Fitness is such a key anchor. It defines parts of lifestyles, right? It's not just like a plug and play for some people where they're like, I just do an hour a day and then that's it. Fitness is sometimes this overall encompassing factor of their life, right? Where it bleeds into their nutrition. So w- if
Mm,
if your partner isn't into fitness, would that, I don't know if it means that they aren't or not, but usually, in my experience, maybe they're not necessarily conscious of other areas of health, such as
yeah.
nutrition. What do you think about that?
It's funny because, yeah, most people start eating better because they started working out,
Mhm, mhm.
right? It's generally not the other way around. Like, how many people have you run into, it's like, "Yeah, I've just changed my diet." And you're like, "Okay, like, just your diet?" Like, "No, I started the diet after I kinda got working out, kind of figured out."
Yeah.
Right?
There's like
So,
2 and 2 are usually together, right?
they're synonymous, right?
Yeah.
Find somebody that how am I going to say this? Wait, hold on. Uh, oh my god, brain fart, dude, brain fart.
Look, you got to find somebody that not only complements the
Yeah,
fitness side of you, but the rest of your lifestyle, such as going into nutrition.
yeah,
When you go out to eat, you're making choices that are both great for you and your goals. Yeah, you can still have a little bit of fun, but at the end of the day, it's going to fuel your performance as well as the intimacy in your relationship. Look, I get it as a person that is constantly seeking optimization. It can be very difficult to find the right restaurant, the right place to sit down, and just enjoy yourself. But I think if you have a partner that can do the same thing, you're kind of like a teammate. You guys are doing the same thing. Luckily for me, I got a partner that's a clinical dietitian, knows way more than I will ever know. And when we go out to eat, the choice has been made.
yeah. Find somebody that is willing to define health. And I guarantee they're going to lump nutrition and fitness in together. Health is more than the exterior that you're providing for the world to see. It's also what you're intaking from a food perspective so that you're able to obviously, again, appear healthy not only from the outside, but also on the inside, right?
Yeah.
I would be really impressed if somebody defines health without those two pieces being at the center. So,
Oh man. Yeah.
at the end of the day, man, the crazy thing about health is that again, like we're saying, there's not a one size fits all approach to health. There are many different baskets that you can kind of go into, and they're all equally merited to some degree. And if that's how your view of health is, that is totally fine. You want to be gluten free, you want to be dairy free, you want to be FODMAP, you want to be whatever it is, that is okay because that's going to help you identify with what your health needs to be and things that you're viewing as important, right?
Yeah.
After we had a few of our guests on, they, the reason why they go into the research is like, how much do those particular camps matter? And ultimately, I, very little potentially, right? But if that helps you start getting rid of all the ultra processed stuff, and so that you're actually able to feel really good about where you're at in life and you have less inflammation and you're able to go do more things with your kids and hiking or sports or whatever, right? Like boom, there you go.
Boom.
And
There
I
you
think,
go.
man, dude, you know what's weird though? How many of us just go and play a sport as our freaking thing to be healthy these days?
Dude, okay, can I be honest about this? I was thinking about this because we had an amazing guest on recently, Greg Hammond, and you guys will listen to this episode. Um, he's from Concept 2, and a lot of what informs his fitness and a lot of these top tier athletes is the sport, right? I feel that right now, Marcos, I've been at fitness has been my sport, but it's kind of like stale. I mean, not the training itself is stale, right? But in terms of
Mhm.
like, what am I pursuing? Like, I've always been a sport person. Like, I played baseball, I did some football, I did a little soccer. I learned a skill like wrestling and all that. Like, there was a gamification of it. Yes, there is with the fitness, but like, you're just spending time with machines, dumbbells, cardio machines and things like this, which is great. I love it. Um, but there's that quote from that show, The Hard Knocks. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm training for the triathlon. Like I swim, I run." It's like, yeah, man. I don't do that shit. I actually train for real sports. It's like a baseball player. And I also agree. I'm like, when is the last time like when you think about fitness, for me personally, like has it been in the context of like pursuing like, oh, I play pickup ball or I go do something that's like sport related, not fitness related.
I mean, sports are fitness related, I feel, and
Yeah.
I mean, all right, like again, to get the other person to commit to something is going to always be a little bit of a challenge. But again, whether it's the hobbies that are related to then like leading into, oh man, I want my be less tired because of it. I don't. It's actually kind of perplexing to me. And again, like we're biased, dude. Like we're so fucking biased with our
We
like
really are.
like everything we're doing is like I want to be outdoors and active and doing things and strength and blah. Like let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. what are you doing for your health in 2025? Are you doing a sport, an activity? Are you lifting weights? Are you getting after something that you are trying to make improvements with? Because I think that ultimately doing something healthy is really about you doing things that you can see improvement with. So
Yeah.
continuing to focus on things that are going to allow you to live in an optimized body is really like, again, we're not meant to be a computer in my eyes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, let's think about this. What are some sports that people can pick up? I know that,
Dude, pickleball. Fucking
pickleball. I
A.
was
Like,
just saying that.
literally,
Exactly.
man.
That's been the game, right?
I mean, I didn't get it during COVID because I just didn't want to be like one of those people that it's like I just picked this thing up because everyone's doing it. But honestly, like
Dude.
with Zeke, dude, with Zeke,
Dude.
pickleball has been it's fun.
Yeah.
Granted the kind of nice thing about it is he's young and he gets frustrated and he gets over it. And so it's like, 30 to 45 minutes and we're done. So it's like cool. Like that was it. We did that on this Monday. We went out and played
Yeah.
pickleball. Me, him, my dad. It was a holiday vacation day for whatever reason because they don't believe in school on Mondays in CCSD anymore. Story for another time. But we went and did that. Took the day off. I was like, I gotta use it or lose it kind of thing for
Work.
vacation hours. And we had a great time. But then I could see it on his face, dude. Like got frustrated by like minute 30, 45. He's just like, dude, like, and it's just, he's just getting tired. He's little, like he's having to move and trying to like the hand eye coordination isn't there. But then I was like, all right, so when are we playing again? He's like, whatever you want, dad, kind of thing. He's like, so he's asking me to do that. And I mean, again, that would be a great place to start. Pickleball, get lateral movement,
Yeah.
it's not so fast that you have to really worry like to that degree. Like you can't get to the ball, like don't pick up your gait. Don't try to
Yeah.
like take a quick cut for it. You know your body.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
problem is that mostly athletic people tend to know their bodies a little bit better and their limitations than people that are a little out of shape,
Yeah.
right?
There
But
you go.
again, I would start there. It's fun. If you can't do that, I mean, fucking ping pong, dude. You can work up a sweat playing ping pong.
Yeah. You really can. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. Yeah, what are some couple themed things? Yeah, ping pong sounds great. I mean, Des and I did some tennis together. You know what sounds really funny too? Like if you're near a body of water, but like doing like a little dual row thing, just like as an activity,
Yeah, or
like one in
when
front, one in
summer rolls
back.
around, just paddle boarding. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we have like Lake Las Vegas where you can paddleboard at, and that's a good workout. It's fun. You're on the water, like you got to cover distance. You don't even really think that it's a workout, but it is. Like at the end of it,
Mhm.
you're like, God, I'm sore. Like, oh, this, that, the other. Like you just said, like canoeing or kayaking. Like again, those are cool things. That's a different way of viewing it. Basically, you're rowing. Maybe that leads
Yeah.
you into like starting to do some rowing stuff when it's a little less
Weather
uh,
available.
yeah, when it's not inclement weather, right? When it's not winter. Um,
Yeah.
dude, I mean, what other activities are there?
I mean, simply enough, like even if that's too complicated, like going for a walk. Gosh, going for a walk together. Taking the
Yeah,
dog
but
out? Taking the kids out? Yeah, we're talking about sport though. Mm.
I mean, dude, okay, maybe frisbee golf.
Dude, have you played that?
No, but
Dude, it's
I'm
it's
trying to think of
something
the
else,
creative
bro.
things.
It's something else, dude. We did like 10 holes or 10 pitches and it's hard. It took me like the first one was around like a curve of a bend tree and I had to curve it, but it went too far and it took me like 6 tries to
Yeah.
get it into one. And I was like, "We're going to be here all day. Can we not do 10? Can we do like 3?"
So in baseball, we play this game called fungo golf. And if you've ever played baseball, I mean, there's a lot of downtime, right? Um,
Yeah,
but we talked about actually trying to make this like a legit thing because like wiffle ball, like there's like kind of like almost like pro wiffle ball leagues now.
yeah,
For people that don't know what this is, right? A fungo is basically the thing that you would be hitting the balls with, quote unquote. It's just like a wood bat. It's a little bit longer than normal. Um, we're not usually playing it with that. You can just literally grab any bat to do it. But I don't know why like the name fungo golf ended up being the thing, but it is what it is. The name will stick. The fungo will be the fungo. Um,
yeah.
but basically, like we you could easily see people probably doing that because, like, okay, cool, like, it's kind of baseball. I used to play baseball. All right, cool. Then it has an element of golf, but golf is like actually a really difficult sport to like learn and play. It's very frustrating, right?
It
Um,
is.
but then again, like I could see people walking 18 holes of fungo golf because and maybe the stroke rate would be a little bit different. But dude, like I mean, just go out. I mean, you could literally go out to a park. Actually, Adam and I did this, right? Where we went out and we were with the kids. The kids were, then like, oh, we're done with our soccer or whatever. We're gonna go on the playground, and we had the wiffle ball bat and a ball. We're like, fungo golf. So we were literally just like hitting the ball, trying to hit. It's like, all right, cool. The hole today for this one is that trash can. So like you would try to just, you hit your drive, and then you have to try to get a little more precise as you get closer to it, like regular golf.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something that's an activity that kind of like lets you do some walking with it and also has a little element of skill component to it, you could do it with that. You could do it with the football. You could probably, oh, dude, Seamus, I have so many great ideas now for potential sport
Sheesh.
or
Dang, all right.
activities that you could do with
Football-oriented
somebody.
sports.
Well, remember those Nerf footballs as a kid? Like you've seen those
Dude,
pictures where they're
yeah.
like nostalgic.
Dude, I
They were
remember when my dog would like chew that up, and I was like, "Yo, what is this thing made of?" Because it's such a weird material and it
dense.
smelled funny.
Yeah. So imagine one of those Nerf ones that you could launch, right? And you have, again, like you eventually get to a place where you have to like hit a target, whatever that is. So I mean,
Yeah,
any version of like kind of a golf game in a sense, right? Because you have something that you're trying to like sink the putt into or hit at the end of it, where there's a little more precision involved. But then there's like these longer kind of things that involve like throwing. I mean, our guys over at Functional Patterns would be thrilled. We're actually throwing a ball, what the humans are meant to do.
I thought we carried things, but hey, you know what? There's a different argument realistically for everything, right?
Let's do it with a javelin. We'll do a javelin throw version of it. Basically, what I'm saying, like what Seamus mentioned with walking, like I think that people won't view walking as the activity or quote the thing that would get them into fitness, but
It's part of
elements
the
of
thing. Yeah.
yeah. But if it's part of the thing, then you're like, oh man, I could just go for a walk. But like, I mean, how much more fun does it sound like to get a buddy and or like get like hone in a couple of skills? Again, you have to swing and hit a ball, or you can do it with a kick, or you can do it with throw, right?
Yeah.
So all the elements of these other games. Shoot, man. I mean, something that would be cool too. Like, have you seen the punt, pass, and throw challenge that like the NFL does?
No, no, I'm not.
Okay, so you have to punt it, you have to pass it, and then you have to try to like kick a field goal, right? So
Okay.
however far you punt it, wherever it hits, that's where you throw the ball. Wherever from after where you throw it, then wherever that lands is where you then kick the field goal, right?
Yeah.
But imagine that you've now done three different variations of like body required movements,
Yeah.
right? Things that require some skill and practice. To hit a field goal is not easy, like obviously if you watch any sports segments on TV, y'all, what's his name? College Game Day. God. Oh my God. Dude, why am I having such brain farts today?
The
Uh
the the only thing I remember is Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show was fire.
uh Pat McAfee. There we go. Damn,
Yeah,
Jesus.
Pat McAfee. Yeah,
So
there
he
you go.
does on like their college game day, like kind of or college kickoff, whatever it is, like their segment. They like have people they pull a random dude out of the audience and try to get like hit a field goal for like 100K. You know what I mean? And it's like a 35 yarder, and like everyone just botches it like crazy.
Dang.
So it is much harder than it is. But like again, like all those different elements, I think of like skill or doing it with people and kind of playing a game within a game. To me, the games within games, right? Like not the actual sport itself, but the games that you get creative as a kid and play would be great
Yeah.
things to probably revisit as an adult, especially if you have young kids, It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to like do this version of it, and you have to probably scale it for them, right? Make it a little more accessible for like their skill level. But man, I mean, once you've done stuff like that, man, like to me, like that's where you probably could do that with your significant other. So I mean, most people, I mean, how many people probably played high school athletics? Let's Google. Shit. Let's see if GPT can give me something here.
What if you were the jock, Marcos, or the vice versa? Your
Mhm.
lady was like the athlete, and then like you were like the band geek. I can say this because I was both. Okay. Like, what
Yeah.
if you were like the hybrid, right? What What if you were the hybrid? Or what if they were just one of each? Yeah, I wonder. It's like you make
It
a
so it's
really
about
funny
so it says 57 to 58%. So over half the people. So you have a coin
one
flips
and two
chance that your significant other
played a
probably did
sport.
something that required you know uh
Shout out Des. She was the libero in volleyball.
she played volleyball. See?
Yeah,
Okay, so there you go. Then I think you could probably find something that most people tended to do. Again, a 1 in 2 chance, and then if they didn't do that, they may not have done actual quote unquote sport participation, but they may have had like another activity, right? And that
yeah,
activity might be dance or cheer or other things. If we're talking to guys, right? Your
yeah.
significant other female probably might be included in some of those things that are not traditionally classified as a sport.
Whoa, cheer, cheer. Some of the most fucking insane athletes come from cheer, bro. Gymnastics kind of stuff. That's insane. Those level of
Yeah, but is
strength.
gymnastics a sport? Okay, what defines a sport, Seamus?
Well, gymnastics is in fucking Olympics, bro. So
But is it
definitely.
a
Well, it
sport?
depends on the which one you're doing though. Like, yeah, if you're doing rhythm gymnastics as compared to like ring gymnastics, yeah,
Okay, wait. Sport is an activity involving physical exertion, skill, and competition, often governed by rules and customs, right? Okay, so classically defined sports, all those things again are variations of things that are
yeah,
again going to get you active and can get again. All right, cool. Did you do something that involved moving your body in a skilled manner? Yes or no? Ask your partner that. All right, cool. What was it? Right? And oftentimes you would know. I can't think of. I really have a hard time like of thinking of people not doing something that involves some
movement.
variation of sport,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I know that there are the music people that like kind of fall down that pathway and they only do that, and um, that's all fine and good. But like, I mean,
Dude,
I
movement
don't know.
is so like ingrained in the culture. Like at some point, yeah, like it doesn't have to be a classically defined sport where it's like, under the big headlights, but you're doing different modalities, which is key. I thinking about it since you said dance, right there, boom. Take a salsa class with your girl. Take a salsa, take a hip hop dance class together. I don't know, do that. That stuff is fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to involve some physical exertion. There's skill to it. There's so much more, and I think that like conventionally, like we lean and bias like the other things that we know that are so impactful with health. But I mean, the steps, right? Us shining the lights on those different stepping stones to get people into actually including that for
Yeah,
their longevity. Dude, this is actually a really complicated thing because I haven't run into anybody in a while that hasn't done something or talks about some element of sport
yeah,
being a part of their life. And again, I feel like that might just be high school, but like if high school only 60% or so actually were involved, what about middle school? What about elementary school? Again, like, okay, let's see. On
I think
average,
there, yeah, kinesiology talks about this a lot, like the history of it, like lifetime athletic development. You're a kid, you can start hopping, you play some sports. Yeah, do you shine a light on those intrinsic capacities, or do you go down a different path because like that's what you're made for? Like I know folks that like I was an athlete, but I was still doing some musical things because I was like musically inclined, or hey, maybe you're just learning a language and you're like wanting to just do coding all day. And I knew those kids as well, and they didn't do anything else outside of movement. But then maybe later on in life, they found, physicality stuff. So I think with a partner, you could always nudge that, right? It's always nudgeable, and it's always,
yeah, yeah,
it's always there. The invite is open. The invite is
yeah.
open.
Don't so again, since it led me down this rabbit hole, because I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to come from a bias of like everybody's done something active in their life, but for the most part, someone's, you have a better chance of people have done something at some point in their lives. 80 to 90% based on surveys that there was some form of sport or organized physical activity done in a person's life. Cool.
Yeah.
Usually 70, 80% of children participate in at least one organized sport before the age of 12. All right, cool. So we'll
Yeah.
just say 3 out of every 4 kids, roughly.
Yeah.
And if we're talking informal sports, just like going and playing a game with kids, there's a percentage that increase, but it doesn't actually give me what that is. In high school or adulthood, about 55% of people in high school, like we just said. And then the adult participation is where it drops off, right? So
Yeah.
again, learning to do things that involve like the organization, like again, like in a league, I mean, just
Yeah.
going and doing something like as like soccer Sunday, you know what I mean? Like Sunday league or beer league with something could be
My
again
stepdad
something.
was like in a softball league, for like years, for a
Yeah.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then globally too, like again, the other hobbies, running, swimming, cycling, golf, tennis, again, all of them remain more popular in adulthood, right? But, more than likely people have done this. So again, it's easier to ascertain that like, okay, there is something there. There has to be something you can find some commonality with. You may not
Yeah.
have done it, kind of like
Yeah.
wrapping this up and circling back. You may not have done it, but for your
Yeah.
other person, they might enjoy that. Start with the thing that they enjoy, right? And
Yeah.
then see if like, hey, like do you want to do more of this? Is there other things that you think could help make you better? And then I think it becomes this kind of cyclical thing where you then start talking about like, hey, like I mean, like, oh, I have a little like ache and pain. Like, how do I not have that? Oh, maybe we should start eating a little bit better. And then maybe
So,
like, oh, I want to get a little bit faster or stronger. I want to be able to hit the ball out of the park, or I want to be able to like drive at a certain distance. Like at some point, I think that like the beautiful thing about sports is that like the competition thing is a competition with self, and that's where there could be probably more of a desire to have that self improvement for sure.
yeah, 100%. But hey, look, for those listening, I definitely think that fitness, if your partner's not into it, just invite them. It's an open invite. Don't force it upon them. And then try to find some things that you could do as activities together. We just listed out so many right here. You could do a co-ed softball thing. You could do some things like that. You go to a club, go do the
Create a
pickleball,
game,
hoops,
just like
create a
creating a
game.
board game. Have you ever thought about creating a board game, Seamus?
We have. I've done it once when I was a kid because you'll
Have you ever
meet
thought
them
about
when you
doing it when
come
you're an
here.
adult though?
Dude, so I have as an adult too because in my life I was really deep into the board game scene. You'll meet one of our other groomsmen, Tommy. He runs a board game shop,
No
and
shit.
uh, and like we went deep into like creating like not like a full game, but like just some concepts and like playing them out. But played a lot of different games like Munchkin, um, a lot of what the heck is that one called? Starts with the C. It's
Catan?
Catan, lots of Telestrations, lots of different strategic games. I really love those so yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't have to be traditional. Like the
Yeah.
fact that you can play a game within a game or just get creative and kind of find some stuff like I don't know. I think that's kind of the beauty of our modern generation is that like people kind of create new rules to, you know, generations old type of sports, and it becomes more of a global phenomenon because our attention span has gone down, but then you have like it's just a variant of the game that was like so classical. Fun
Yeah.
fact, I think I saw this today and then we'll wrap this up. Did you know that cricket has like more global viewership than the Super Bowl, like the one of the championships?
I believe it.
I,
It's all over the world. Cricket's all over the world, like
but
Australia,
I haven't
UK,
even the slightest idea of what cricket, how
India.
to even play it.
Yeah, that's like one of the fastest sports in the world apparently. Like just fuck up.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that and I was like, no way. Like, but I know,
Yeah.
like, again, like as big as the Super Bowl is to be a global event, it's still like it was like so small in with respect to that. So there's again,
Levels to this game. Yeah, there's so many
it's
things you
levels
can
to it.
find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get out there. You have a better shot. You have a better shot of probably getting the activity that you hope to get your partner into by doing the thing that they do. Chances are that they have done something at some point. Lean into that
Yeah.
first, and then from there, try to like do more things that you think will be there to keep you guys together for your longevity. And we're the
Yeah.
longevity guys, kind of, sorta.
No, kind of, sort of. Hey, look, for the Macropod, love it. I think this episode's dropping post Valentine's Day, so it's kind of timely, but also at the same time, you don't need a Valentine's Day to go out there and share a great moment with your partner. And even if they're not necessarily in the same values, like I said, keep the invite open, keep the door open,
Mhm.
and just lead by example. Next thing you know, might be doing some fun stuff together.
Awesome. All right, guys. Till next time.